everyone, I hope you're doing well today. We're going to look at this Pluto retrograde in Aquarius that's happening on May 4th, 2025 at 3 degrees and 49 minutes. It will happen at 11:28 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, it will go direct on October 13th, 2025 at 1 degrees and 22 minutes at 10:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the theme of Pluto in Aquarius is I embrace my unique perspective and use it to contribute to meaningful changes in my life and society. So originality and a strong desire for personal freedom is also the flavor of this transit. There will be an urge to assert control over your life that has been fueled by the life experiences that you have encountered thus far. You have now come to the awareness that not all is fair in society and in your life. This will fuel a passion for change that is taking place on an individual level. You will be psychologically exploring yourself for this growth. I want to look at some aspects that are happening. So Pluto retrograde in Aquarius is how can I change so that my surroundings can change? Venus will be activated and will sextile Pluto retrograde, and this will give motivation to transform, to balance relationships and money. Mars in Leo opposing Pluto retrograde will have you questioning your strengths for this transformation, and are you ready for those that are in your life to see it? It will make you aware that the situation needs to change. Jupiter in Gemini will sesquadrate Pluto retrograde, and you will be asking yourself, how do my beliefs need to change? Jupiter is ruled by, it rules Sagittarius, so it has that Sagittarius flavor. You may also feel like you want to get away from the situation or escape from the situation because Jupiter is in Gemini, and it will be working on a mindset level, okay? You will also ask, how are your beliefs blocking your progress? Saturn in Pisces will sextile Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. Questions for that are, what have I learned thus far through my human experiences that have influenced your perspective, and how can I structure this into my transformation? Neptune in Aries will sextile Pluto retrograde, and your truths of what fears that you have that are actually your blocks will be shown to you. So I'm going to go over all the signs. Please watch your sun, moon, and rising sign for a full picture of what's happening in your world. I also want to go over maybe a little goal setting that you can write down. If you have a piece of paper near you, I'm going to go over this activity so that you can get a better picture of what goals you want or desires you want, including what blockages are keeping you from it. Okay, so I want you to get a piece of paper, make 3 columns. All right. So if you're not sure what exactly you desire or what you want out of life, I want you to write down where you are in your life in the first column. The second column, I want you to write down where you want to be. In the third column, I want you to write down what block is keeping you from being there. That way you can have a map, a trajectory of where you want to go and how to do it. You can also, instead of writing those down, if you don't know what desire or goal that you have, you can write down what you don't want in your life in the first column, right? And in the second column, write the opposite, and that will give you more of an outlook of what you actually want in your life. And in the third, it would be how to change it, what needs to be changed. Okay, so again, I'm going to go through all the signs. Please watch your sun, moon, and rising sign. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment, let me know how this is working out in your world, and I'll see you soon. Hi, Pisces. I hope you're doing well today. This is for Pisces, sun, moon, or rising. We're going to take a look at this Pluto retrograde that's happening in Aquarius in your 12th house. Please take time out to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to comment. Let me know how this is working out in your world. Now, Pluto will be here until October of this year, okay? Retrograde, all right? It will go internally. It will transform you some way, somehow, on an internal level. Now, the 12th house deals with soul work. It deals with dark nights of the soul. It deals with situations of surrender and unconditional love and forgiveness. The 12th house also deals with taboo, the occult. It deals with prisons and hospitals are activated with the 12th house. Loss is activated with the 12th house. Now, Pluto is activated in everybody's chart right now. That's retrograde. So there could be a situation of loss for anyone. Okay, so I'm putting that out there. In your case, it could be an internal loss, right? Of you're losing your interest of something, or you're losing the person that you were before, because the next sign is, the next house is the first house. So you're going forward, right? With this situation. 12th house is mediumship and past lives and karma. So this could be how to heal karma that you find out through Aquarius themes, such as the internet, or groups, clubs, and affiliations, or the community. This could be situations of you being more sensitive because of the collective, okay? Please keep that in mind, because, there could be a situation of you feeling like you're going through the dark night of the soul, or feeling like things are elevated within you. And it's because of you receiving collective energy. I do advise you to use crystals during this time to repel that energy, so that you can keep your own, to not scroll over media so much during this time. If there's a holiday coming up, if there's some type of worldly event coming up, until October, right? That could be controversial toward you, or controversial within the collective, within the masses, because they're going through an ascension. They're going through an upgrade. And because Aquarius is activated, and you, Pisces, are all the signs put together, and you feel every one of them, okay? And it's very important that you understand that you feel their energy so deep, right? So deep that it can affect your energy. Okay, so this is higher states of consciousness. Habits are here. Endings and transformations could be happening with the clubs and groups that you're affiliated with. Endings and transformations could happen with some type of older sibling, friend of long distance, some type of goal that you had, right? Hope, dream, or wish. Rewards and gains is also Aquarius, so there could be a transformation of you gaining something. But it's alchemizing the energies here so that you can gain something, okay? I do want to say to you that film and photography is in that 12th house. If you're interested in that, there could be situations of you thinking about being within groups that are film and photography, or looking at Pinterest instead of Instagram could help you during this time to help you get your dreams, hopes, and goals together, rather than scrolling and looking at other people's influences of what they want out in the world, right? Try to stay away from mass situations of groups that are influencing your emotions. That maybe you could also find within groups and affiliations how to upgrade yourself. But if it's just that, I'm going to call it a Gemini situation, to where it's just, you know, the little facts, not all of the information, the small knowledge of things, the everyday situations, you want to stay away from that, okay? Because it can affect your emotions. I am saying this over and over again so that you understand that you're being affected by the masses during this Pluto retrograde. And it's almost that feeling, if you're a woman, you know what I'm talking about, whenever you have an off cycle and you're not sure whenever it's going to start again, right? It's like 5 or 6 days before every month. And that happens nowadays with the full moons and new moons and eclipses that are happening. Anyways, that you don't know when you're going to have your PMS moment, right? And it's like a surprise, right? Well, whenever you feel this way, and you're not acknowledging that you have been involved with too many groups, clubs, and affiliations, that it's going to dawn on you sooner or later. But I don't want it to be too late for you, that it dawns on you that I have been scrolling Facebook and looking at, you know, friends that I don't talk to, friends that don't talk to me, or envying or jealousy or depression, you know, people posting of, you know, like especially on Mother's Day and Father's Day, that they lost their mom, that they lost their dad, right? All of this. Unless you are in that category of mediumship, I don't advise you to put yourself out there of scrolling Facebook during those days, okay? Because it can be oppressing to you. You can take on that energy and not even know it. Crystals that can help is black obsidian, rainbow obsidian. Any of the obsidians, right, can help, because it's a Pluto stone, right? Okay. Anyways, I'm going to go through the transit so we know what's happening. We have Venus and Aries that will sextile this Pluto. And that's in your second house. And the second house deals with your self-worth. It deals with confidence. It deals with money. It also deals with values, the things that you value, and how you are valuable within the world. All right. Aries is the independent. Aries is you as a person. Aries is confidence. Aries is, it can also represent anger. It can also represent the warrior. It can be somewhat of childhood situations, because Aries represents that first house. Aries also represents your identity. Okay, so there could be ways of Venus working out for you in a way of money, of changing your identity. That could be something. It could be Venus balancing your confidence and self-worth during this time. Either way, it's going to hit you emotionally, and it's almost like you have to catch up to it, right? It's like if Venus represents money and brings in that money, you have to catch up to change of your identity. If Venus works out as self-confidence and self-worth, you have to catch up to changing your belief system. Okay? Like if you go viral or something, or if you are seen for a person that is being very confident, or seen as a person that can hold space for others' confidence, that catching up to it is Venus, of bringing balance and harmony, right? That transformation that happens, because transformation can happen really quickly. But Venus is a woman, right? And it could be that a woman gives you some type of money, and it could be because of a loss of a woman. It could be because of a transformation in a woman's life that brings you money. That can happen. Aries is very fast, very quick. Aries doesn't necessarily have patience either. So this could be Venus trying to bring in some type of patience and stillness for you in the Aries house, okay, to show you that, you know, things happen within divine timing. It's not necessarily the factor of just because you want it. It happens within divine timing so that it can situate you in places that you need to be on your path that's already written. You know what I mean? Now, with that said, that's an enlightenment. 12th house is enlightenment. It could be that you're gaining some type of stoicism in regards to something that you find out online. Could be from a woman, right? And this is some type of upgrade that happens for you, therefore hits your confidence level, okay? Or it could bring you money, whatever you figure out that's happening. But you can use the occult during this time to help you with money. It could be situations of being divinely guided toward making money on your own. You know, Aries represents that independence, okay? So let's move on. Mars will be activated. Mars is the ruler of Aries, and it will be activated in Leo during this first beginning of this retrograde. It will oppose Mars in Leo. Okay, so Leo is in your 6th house. So Leo is represented by love, vulnerability. It's represented by hobbies, the things that you enjoy, creative endeavors, popularity and recognition, friendships, pets, dating, your talents and genius. And Leo could also represent not just love, but the opposite, like infidelity, okay? That could be something here. But the 6th house being activated with service to others, with your lifestyle, your daily routine and daily work and employment, and health, okay? So this could be a situation of Pluto working out internally, of changing your mindset, right? Changing the way that you think in regards to what you should be doing on a daily basis, that you need to Look for things that bring you joy, hope, and optimism on a daily basis so that it helps you, so that it changes and transforms you to different groups, clubs, and affiliations, okay? Whatever you're doing on a lifestyle or daily basis, daily routine, Pluto is trying to work out something better for you. Pluto is trying to upgrade you within your mind's eye. Pluto is trying to show you that there is a wound somewhere surrounded by what you're doing on a daily basis, surrounded by maybe even grief or death. That could be something. It could be that you're over involved with the occult, because I mean, I don't know if you know this, Pisces, but tarot can be toxic. Astrology can be toxic, right? Depending on the usage of it. And if that's something that's happening, it could be time to take a break. It could be time to find other people that have a more joyful and optimistic outlook of the occult, okay? Because there is a lot of negativity out there, all right? It could also be situations of you being seen from being on media. That could be something that's happening here. Therefore, you're making your own money, or you're thinking about how. And the divine will step in for you when it comes to situations of money. Okay? I do want to put that out there too, because we have other activations that are happening. But right now, I want to tell you about Mars being opposing Pluto retrograde, because there's a push and pull on whether or not you should be doing something online. There's a push and pull on whether or not you should change your lifestyle because of health situations. There's a push and pull on whether or not you're thinking of some way, somehow, about faith, about surrender, about forgiveness is affecting your lifestyle, okay, and what you're doing. Maybe even work could be affecting your work. And there's an upgrade that has to happen. 12th house being prominent with that Pluto retrograde that's working on you internally, that's trying to push you to transform internally, is saying there's something that you're doing over there in that 6th house that isn't good for you, and it needs to change. Is it a service to others? There's something that you're doing for others that needs to change. Maybe what you're doing as a hobby, maybe what you're doing on a creative level. Maybe it has something to do with your child. Maybe your children are taking up too much of your time and you're spoiling them. That needs to change. There needs to be a surrender there. There needs something to happen with the 6th house for you to upgrade. Okay? I'm just highlighting that for you. And Mars is pointing to Leo, and how you're doing it is the house, right? Mars is pointing to your daily routine, your daily work and employment, your service to others, your detail orientation, dealing with friendships, dealing with love, dealing with dating, dealing with children, dealing with pets, okay? That fun needs to happen there. You being happy needs to happen there in that 6th house. You enjoying life needs to happen there. This could also look like a situation, like I said, of you being on the internet professionally. Or this could be a situation of you ending something that you're doing on a daily basis. Okay? But there is a push and pull with it, because maybe you're comfortable. Maybe you're stuck in your comfort zone. Maybe there's something that you don't want to change because you think it brings you happiness, but really what it's doing is activating that 12th house of it needs to go. A loss needs to happen, or Pluto may push it to be a loss. Okay? And if that deals with work and you had been back and forth on whether or not you wanted to leave your job, Pluto could activate as losing that job. Therefore, you have to figure out how to make your own money. And that's why Aries is activated in the 2nd house. Right? Okay, I'm going to keep going. We have Jupiter with your belief system activated in Gemini, and it will sesquadrant this Pluto retrograde. Jupiter, let me find another pin here. Jupiter in Gemini is in your 4th house. And Jupiter is your belief system. Jupiter can also work out as expansion and luck, right? But it's sesquadrant, so there's a little bit of a challenge here with this Pluto retrograde. Some type of communication that happens in regards to home life, property, mother figures, you being a mom. Okay, this could also look like communication that's happening in regards to your emotional body, because Gemini represents your mindset also. And it could be that that mindset has to change. That belief system revolving around the story that you tell yourself. It could be the story that you tell yourself on how to be a mom. Or it could be the story that you tell yourself in regards to a mother figure. Or it could be the story that you tell yourself in regards to aunts, uncles, cousins, relatives, nieces, nephews, or neighbors, or siblings, because they're activated with Gemini. There could be a childhood trauma situation that needs to be healed so that you change your lifestyle. This could revolve around 3rd house affiliations. And I say that only because Gemini is dealing with 3rd house affiliations, Gemini. In astrology, Gemini rules the 3rd. And that's your self-confidence there. And that's also your self-worth and what you value, right? Because it's ruled by Taurus, which is also the 2nd house in astrology is Taurus, right? So it deals with all 3 of these houses being activated of your belief system that's happening here. Your mind is going crazy. Maybe you think that you're not worth making money on your own. Maybe you think that you can't. Maybe you think that you don't bring any value into the world, right? Maybe you're trying to discover your value, right? That could be something here. Well, Taurus being activated with that is in Gemini. So your value comes from, you could be a public speaker. You could be someone that is capable of juggling a lot of things, because Gemini being activated. You could be a mechanic. You could be an engineer. You could be a person that writes a book. You could be a person that's on media, an influencer. You could be a person of sales. You could be a person that helps others with their mindset, or someone that just communicates a lot in regards to money, right? A person that deals with finances. A person that deals with love. You're ambidextrous when it comes to Gemini, so you're really good at tarot, right? You're really good at astrology because you're able to see patterns. Okay? I'm just showing you how you're capable of making money, because Taurus is where you make money, right? Taurus is where your value comes out into the world. You have the facts. You can push out the facts to people. You can do it in a loving way, by the way, because Taurus is loving. And it's ruled by Venus. Taurus is also merchandise. Okay? Taurus is all the beautiful, luxurious things. And you can create something luxury for others, right? Or make them feel like they are of luxury. Food is something here. Being a chef, being a cook, something like that. I'm trying to think of other Taurus things. I see crystals as being Taurus things. So if you are a person that is into crystals or sells crystals or does something with crystals, that is something too. But I'm just showing you how you have value within the world. And you're probably one or two of those things, right? Doing those things. Something of maybe you deal with phones and gadgets and laptops, because that's Gemini. Something with vehicles. I'm trying to think of anything else. Something with a certificate that you have. Small education is here. Okay. But anyway, so where was I? I was looking at discovering your belief system, figuring out your belief system with Jupiter, and it can expand in Gemini. It can affect you of whatever you went through in childhood with Gemini, right? Because we're dealing with your mindset and your emotional body in the 4th house. Something has to be healed here. Something has to be let go and transformed into something better for you so you can upgrade. But Jupiter could also work out as luck, and there could be some type of communication that comes from the 4th house. Moms, mother figures, single fathers are here of a transformation that happens, and therefore it deals with a different type of community. It deals with a different type of group setting. It deals with a goal or a wish that comes true, right? That's dealing with the 4th. But really, Pluto is some type of fear that you have, and it could be that you fear a loss of a mother. And Pluto's trying to work on you with that. Pluto is trying to push you forward with some type of transformation within to help you deal with that loss, right? So it could be that you need to open up and see your value that you give to your parents or to your mom. You need to open up and see the value that you give to your child, right? As a mom. You need to open up and see the value within yourself of you can pretty much deal with anything that's needed as long as you take hold of your mindset, right? Because emotional body is there, foundation is there, security is the 4th house. You are capable of making your own money, but you have to work on that mindset first with Gemini activated. Okay, so we're going to take a look at Saturn and Pisces because, you know, Saturn has been in Pisces for a while, I think a couple of years now, and it will sextile this Pluto retrograde. And it's trying to show you that you are the authority of who you are. Okay, so Pisces is your 1st house. The 1st house is Aries in astrology, so keep that in mind. It represents your identity, the way that other people see you. It represents your physical body. It represents the way that you lead yourself throughout the world, your physical appearance and your self-autonomy. Pisces being activated with Saturn, Saturn is trying to tell you that you are the authority to surrender to who you are. That you're capable of changing who you are at any time. You are the chameleon. You are every sign within the zodiac. You know what I mean? And you can act like any sign that you need to. But you have to remember this. You have to remember that you have this ability to lead yourself the way that you want, no matter what. Pisces in the first house, sometimes we struggle with finding our identity, right? Because there's just so much is vast. It's part of the universe. Like you feel like you're an angel walking upon the earth. You feel like you're part of the divine walking on the earth, which everybody is part of the divine, but not necessarily that they know it. You know it. You know it. You know that you are part of Source walking the earth. With Pluto activated here, with Saturn being in Pisces, is trying to make you remember. Trying to make you remember that you're both. You're part of Source and you're human. That you're capable of receiving things from the divine. Saturn is trying to show you authority here in that first house. That you take authority on who you want to be. You take authority upon the spiritual realm. That you're capable of doing the things that you need to do. That you have control over your intuition. Listen to your intuition. That you use your intuition more than any other sign. Have more faith within you. Have more faith within your capabilities, right? That's Saturn. Saturn is the authority figure trying to show you that you have authority here. Saturn could also act out as a blessing for you from an authority figure, a father figure, a person, a mentor, a person of leadership within your world that changes your identity. Saturn could also represent a person that is a Capricorn or someone older, okay? A man, okay? Doesn't necessarily have to be a man, but usually when it's represented as Capricorn, it is an older male figure, right? This could be Saturn working out as showing you that you have the capability of making money. You have the capability of dealing with loss because you are part of the 12th house. That you have that capability of taking care of things that need to be taken care of in regards to surrender, forgiveness, unconditional love, letting go and going with faith. You have that capability. Saturn is trying to remind you to use it during this Pluto retrograde. And to remember that you're part of Source, you're part of the divine. To remember that also the collective being activated in the 12th house, that you're capable of taking over your mind and how you want to be seen. Okay? Saturn could be the transformation of you turning into a leader of some sort. And it could be on the spiritual platform. Okay? I say that only because Aquarius being activated, we had Leo activated with Mars, and we also had that individual money with the second house in the occult. So you could be a person of leadership within the occult or spirituality or some type of usage of spirituality, such as like Reiki, using different type of modalities, using astrology or tarot, you know, anything of that, and be a leader on a platform of some sort with the collective, trying to upgrade the collective, right? This could also be that at this time, with that lifestyle being activated in that 6th house of Mars, in your professional life, to just surrender, to situations of authority right now. Okay, to maybe even forgive someone, maybe forgive that job, because it does look like the job could do you wrong during this time. And if that's the case and you lose a job, even though you've been there for X amount of years and they let you go for whatever reason, you're being asked to surrender and forgive and have that unconditional love. Okay. All right. So we're going to look at Neptune and Aries that will sextile this Pluto retrograde. Neptune is illusion and disillusion. Neptune is sometimes the trajectory of your path, okay? Neptune can point you to where the divine has laid out a path for you. And it could look like here that Neptune is trying to show you that you're capable of making money on your own, that there's a transformation. Whatever happens could be the reason or the catalyst of you doing things on your own like a warrior, okay? And it could make you quit a job, a corporate job, and push you into making your own money doing what you love on a daily basis, okay? That could be what Neptune is doing. Neptune is also, the truth coming out about a situation. And there could be some type of enlightenment that comes out to you in regards to making money or what value you hold as an individual to bring into the masses, right? To help society. Some type of truth comes out of that. This could also look like Neptune having some type of divine backup on it. Because Neptune is spirituality and Neptune is the divine. And with it in the second house, it could be trying to tell you that you are that divine individual, that you are part of Source, God, or the universe. And with it sextiling Pluto retrograde, that this could be some type of dream that comes to you. This could be some type of divine intervention that comes to you, and you could find it over media. You could be scrolling whatever, and there could be something that comes up and it shows you some type of enlightenment about yourself, right? But it was divinely guided to you. There is no coincidences in life, right? So things are happening for a reason, and you see this and you take action. Right? But Neptune could be it could be a literal Aries, right? That comes in and feels like they are saving you. Okay? It could be that Neptune is representing in Aries that it's given you something valuable, just you. Personally, just you, that there's a knowledge that comes to you, an enlightenment that comes to you that is not necessarily talked about. It's almost like an esoteric thing because it's spirituality we're talking about. It's the divine that we're talking about. Neptune is the ruler over Pisces. So we're dealing with us, right? Our subconscious, our higher selves. And you get entered into this information that isn't necessarily known to other people, and you're sharing it with other people, the masses. That could be something of how it's transformed, or someone sharing it with you. Okay? I'll share something with you. So I listened to Reagan Hillier, and she talks about quantum leaping. All right, quantum leaping and time bending. And if you want to look it up, she has videos in regards to an activation meditation that helps you quantum leap through time to speak to your higher self, your future self, in that regard of where you want to be, and then pushes or time bends for you to get there faster. So that would be something to look into, right? Of time bending or quantum leaping. But that's more or less esoteric. That's something that's a very personal thing. It doesn't necessarily hit everybody, right? Not everybody is like, oh, well, I did it in 3 years. Oh, well, I did it in 2 years, right? You have to believe. You have to have faith. And with Pisces activated, Neptune activated, you have to have faith in the situation that things will work out for you, that you are valuable, that you can make your own money, that your identity will change, right? All right, Pisces, thank you for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.